I actually sat down with Will and had a conversation due to the transformation from their marriage to life partnership that they've spoken on several times, and it, not involving romanticism. Mm-hmm. He gave me his blessing, and I totally gave myself to that relationship for years of my life, and I truly and really, really deeply loved and have a ton of love for her. I devoted myself to it. I gave my full self to it. So much so to the point that I can die right now and be okay with knowing that I truly gave myself to somebody.
Right, you did the right thing.
And I really loved a person. I experienced that. I know what that feels like, and some people never get that in this lifetime. So I know that I'm completely blessed. And this conversation is difficult because there's so much that it would be hard for people to understand. But once it starts to affect me in my livelihood, I have to speak up about my truth and stand on my 10 with anything that may come along with it.
All right. Shalom. First, giving all acknowledgement to Yahweh Shem Shai. Double honors to my teachers, beginning with the apostles, elders of Great Millstone. All right. Just want to do my own little commentary on the situation dealing with this guy, August Alsina or whatever. It's pretty much coming or opening up about this open relationship that he had with another man's wife, Jada Pinkett Smith. All right. He even said that Will Smith pretty much gave him permission to be in this relationship, with his woman, and that's just something I want to touch on a little bit because, first and foremost, for any man to be allowing another man to sleep with his woman, that's just straight up disgusting, for any man to, allow another man to sleep with his woman, personally, I don't, all your cool points goes down the drain with me. I refuse to look at you as a man, if you allow that behavior to ensue, right? But this is this is why Yahweh Bashem Yahushai has to destroy this place, because you hear stories like this, you hear things like this. Now it's been somewhat of a secret for a while, dealing with this whole open relationship thing. But we know, people know, he tried to play it off and say that, pretty much that it wasn't, intimate, but come on now. Jada Pinkett Smith, and again, Will Smith gave him the blessing to be with this woman, but nevertheless, that's just my opinion. But again, like I was saying, this is why Yahweh Shem Shai has to destroy this place, because this is just straight up disgusting. All right. Many precepts that talk about, committing adultery and whoredom. All right. Any whore within, or any, so-called Black, Hispanic, Native American, Indian woman that is to play the whore, she's to be put to death. All right. But again, this is something that's glorified in this society. For a woman to be able to have that freedom, that liberty to sleep with multiple men, you know, which is, though that's glorified in this society, that's something that Yahweh Shemel Shah highly despises. All right, I just want to go through a few precepts touching on this matter. We'll go to Sirach, the 23rd chapter, starting at 22. It says, "Thus shall it go also with the wife that leaveth her husband and bringeth in an heir by another. For first she hath disobeyed the law of the Most High." And how does a woman, or how is this, going astray from the laws, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Shemel Shai? Because, it's written in our laws. Yahweh Shemel Shai set it up to where a woman, she's only supposed to be with one man, and, married unto one man. All right, and she's supposed to be with that man for the rest of her life. All right. Reading on, it says, "And secondly, she hath trespassed against her own husband." Because again, for a woman, once a woman and a man, once a woman and a man have sex, that constipates marriage in the eyes of Yahweh Shemel Shai. So once a man and a woman have sex, they become husband and wife. All right. And so once a woman, once a woman has sex with a man, that becomes her husband. And once she decides to, go having sex with multiple men, she's committing adultery. All right, because again, a woman is only supposed to have one husband. Now, a man is, he can have as many wives as he want, which I'm gonna touch on that a little bit. But for the most part, a woman, she's only supposed to have one husband. All right. So I'm reading on, it says, "And thirdly, she hath played the whore in adultery and brought children by another man." So you see, this is what you see going on today with, women sleeping around with multiple men. And even in this case, you have this guy, Will Smith, is supposedly giving another man permission to be with his woman, in this whole open relationship. That's completely off. All right. And like I said, it's just straight up disgusting. What man in his right mind would consent and agree for another man to be with his woman? But again, and as far as the woman, that's adultery. That's whoredom. And this is, that's pretty much all you see today. Just a bunch of whores. Again, this is why, there's some serious judgments coming. Because again, that's one, that's something that Yahweh Shemel Shai doesn't tolerate. He doesn't accept a woman to be sleeping around with multiple men. Go to Amos 7:17. It says, "Therefore thus saith Yahweh, thy wife shall be an harlot in the city, and thy sons and thy daughters shall fall by the sword. And thy land shall be divided by line, and thou shalt die in a polluted land. And Israel shall surely go into captivity forth of his land." So the beginning part of that verse, it says, "Thy wife shall be an harlot in the city." And again, it's pretty much all that you see going on today. Is nothing but whores roaming around. and it's just unacceptable. It's I mean, it's just just being real, it's disgusting. You know, and again, that's why Yahweh Shemel Shah has to set things back in order. All right. Um, Again, you go to the law, Deuteronomy 23:17. It says, "There shall be no whore of the daughters of Israel, nor a sodomite of the sons of Israel." All right. And again, I mean, in both aspects, whores and sodomites. I mean, we're at a all-time high when it comes to whoredom, when it comes to our women, and when it comes to these sodomites. All right. um this is something that's just it's not acceptable. And again, maybe it's been a secret with this chick, Jada Pinkett Smith, because deep down inside she knows that she's wrong. Maybe, I don't know. It's just my speculation. But again, in this video he talked about just play a little more of it. And I got this video queued up here for a reason. I'll bring it out shortly. Play on this video a little bit more.
Is it disappointing that she never addressed it to you? Because, like you said, you lost out on opportunities.
Yeah.
And if there's
I really can't even. I never even can get into the thought of that because I'm only responsible for myself, right? I'm only responsible for what I do. When I'm repressing and suppressing things and it starts to affect me, I have to address it. I just always stay silent because I never want to be the person to cause confusion because I love these people.
Right.
You talk about causing confusion. Well, that's confusion in itself. Another man agreeing for another man to be with his woman. But again, she mentioned the fact about Jada, pretty much not coming out about this. And like I said, just my speculation, maybe that she knows deep down inside that, it's off, maybe, she wasn't, or it's clear that, she wasn't taught these things, as a child. Because, ultimately that's where it starts. Real quick. We'll go to Leviticus. This is why it's important for, children to be taught these things at a young age. So you don't have this type of confusion. Leviticus 21:13. It says, "And he shall take a wife in her virginity." So, but before she gets to that point where a girl becomes a woman, she has to be trained up by pretty much when it comes to women, because again this whole league that Jake woman has with Esau, Esau's put it in the mind of these women that they can be they're equal to or even better than a man. All right. Esau gives these women a lot of liberty to do what they want, right? When in the ancient world, it was never like that in the ancient world. In the ancient world, you had pretty much the father, he would pretty much groom his daughters up and choose a man for his daughter. All right, because at the end of the day, the scriptures tell you that women, they're deprived of wisdom. They don't really know right from wrong. That's why that's a good example or a good reason why you have a lot of women sleeping around with different men because uh, you know I mean you just go on social media and all you pretty much see is women complaining about how much um all they're doing is talking shit about men, you know blaming the men when you should really be blaming yourself. Because again, when it comes to logical thinking, women they don't have that um they don't have that understanding. So again, this is why in the ancient world, um um the father he would pick and choose a man for his daughter because the man he knows better. Let's see if I can get that. Where's it at? I think it's in Sirach 7. Start at 20. 23. Sirach 7 and 23. It says, "Hast thou children? Instruct them, and bow down their neck from their youth." So again, when it comes to these things and the law, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Shem Shai, we really got to beat it into them young because we're living in a world that's it's just nothing but pollution. Everything's corrupted. All right. And again, Esau, he has an agenda. That's why in recent years, past 10 years or so, you've been hearing a lot about like female rappers like Nicki Minaj and others, and they push, but with the music that they put out there, they pretty much push that spirit of being a whore. All right, it's all set up by the wicked elites, but nevertheless, again, this is why we really gotta be on you know be on our offspring. We really gotta be on them fairly young. Beat these things into them. But reading on, it says, "Hast thou daughters? Have care of their body, and show not thyself cheerful toward them." So again, when it comes to these offsprings, and especially towards these young girls, it would be wise, not to be all friendly and buddy with them, because again, these little, these young girls, man, once they start getting to a certain age, they start becoming promiscuous. They start getting hot, and that's why I brought the precept in the Leviticus 21:13, where it says, pretty much says, get a wife. Let me just go back to it real quick. Leviticus 21:13, it says, "And he shall take a wife in her virginity." All right. So this is why it's good for a woman. It's good for her to get married while she's young and hot. All right. So she's not out here being influenced pretty much by the devil and going out here being a whore. Right. And again, this is why it says, reading on verse 25, it says, "Marry thy daughter, and so shalt thou have performed a weightier matter, but give her to a man of understanding." So you see, this is why, like I said, in the ancient world, the father would usually typically pick and choose a husband for his daughter, because again, at the end of the day, the man knows what's best. Despite all this nonsense that anything you can do, I can do better, bullshit. Listen, again, the woman, she's deprived of wisdom. This is why she goes out here a whoring around and wonder why she can't find a man. Blaming the man, right? Because she doesn't know better. So, this is why again, women, when it comes to women, they need guidance. This is why, it tells you, the precepts tell you in, I believe it's Colossians, if I'm not mistaken. It tells you, that it tells you for women to you know submit themselves unto their husbands, because again, the man knows what's best. All right, he thinks rationally. Women, they think with their emotions. All right, I mean, take it how you want to take it, but again, women, they just they don't have that understanding. All right, they're deprived of wisdom. So the majority of these women, they think they know something, and when in reality they don't know anything. That's why they're wondering. They're in their 30s, wondering, why they can't find a man. Wondering why every relationship she tries to get into, it fails, because you know first and foremost, um, you're supposed to find you a man of understanding, a man of the Lord, a prophet. All right, but again, when it comes to women, what's the word I'm looking for? Um, Women are pretty much followers by nature. All right, and why do women, for the most part, the majority of women in today's society, they look for, um, they go after these guys that are, these wannabe gangbangers and pookies and revees, and pretty much, these they go, athletes and pretty much people in positions of power. All right, because again, women are submissive by nature, and they're attracted to that. They're attracted to power. All right, but we're coming to times where the Yahweh Bashim Shai, he's raising his men back up. All right, because the Lord's going to do away with a lot of these pretty much these two third jakes, and there's going to be nothing left but the men of the Lord. And that's why you go to Isaiah 41. That's why these women are going to be flocking to men of the Lord, because that's what they seek. They seek after a man that knows his shit. All right. Isaiah 4:1, it says, "And in that day 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, We will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by that name to take away our reproach." So again, we're coming into times where Yahweh Shai, he's about to flip the script. All right. And this whole attitude, feministic bullshit nonsense, it's going to be done away with. And, that's when, these women are going to start seeking the real men of the Lord. But, a lot of them are going to be rejected. You're going to have a small few, the Lord's going to show mercy on. But for the most part, a lot of these women, they're going to be rejected. All right. But because, one of the major reasons, because a lot of these women, they're whores. Real quick, back to Sirach 22. Start at 4. It says, "A wise daughter shall bring an inheritance to her husband, but she that liveth dishonestly is her father's heaviness." So again, you see, because there's another precept that also talks about how that actually might be in that same chapter, but for the sake of time, I don't want to look for it. But there's another precept that talks about how the woman, or excuse me, the father, he loses sleep, in making sure that his daughter's not out there being a whore, right? This is why it's good for a woman, for her to get a man while she's hot and young, so she's not out here being a whore. All right, and this is why you you won't have this confusion. You know, another man consent to another man being with his woman. That's just disgusting. You know, that's how diseases get spread. You know, women jumping around from cock to cock. That's how diseases get spread. Whether you want to believe that or not, I mean, you can look that information up. You don't really hear any much about men diseases coming from men sleeping with multiple women, because a man can have multiple women. That, you know, that's just how Yahweh Shem Shai set it up. And that's why I often say, you know, 2/3, that majority of that consists of women. And just in general, there's typically more women in society than men, because again, Yahweh Shem Shai set it up to where men can have multiple wives. You know, but again, this league that Esau has with you know, Israelite women, you know, women believe they can have multiple men. You know, women believe that they're equal to or even greater than the man. All right. You know, again, you know, we're living in a society that worships women. All right. The flip is completely script on this in this society. You know, it's everything's backwards. Here in this society, um, you know, they push a man bowing down on one knee and proposing to the woman, where, again, you know, going back to the ancient world, it was the woman that she paid tribute, which is what I just read in this precept. And read it again in Sirach 22:4. It says, "A wise daughter shall bring an inheritance to her husband." So again, in the ancient world, the woman, she paid tribute to the man. You know, it's all about the man at the end of the day. You know, the Lord deals with men. All right. But you know, this is what was taking place in the ancient world. The woman, she was the one, you know, pretty much, um, again, you know, just paying tribute to the man, to her husband. But again, you know, the side of the flip, the script is completely flipped in this society. All right. Let me read verse 5. It says, "She that is bold dishonoreth both her father and her husband, but they both shall despise her." All right. And again, you know, for a man to, or excuse me, for a woman to be, um, you know, sleeping around with multiple men, that's very dishonoring. You know, again, you know, that's very disgusting. All right. But again, you know, this is something that is taught in society, it's accepted in society. All right. You know, again, you know, you get this whole attitude. Women think that they're pretty much, they think that the man was created for them. You know, when it's, again, it's the other way around. You know, the woman was created to be helpmeet to the man. All right. Real quick, let me get this in Leviticus. Going back to Leviticus 21 and starting at 9. It says, "And the daughter of any priest, if she profane herself by playing the whore, she profaneth her father. She shall be burnt with fire." So this is the punishment for a woman that plays a whore. She's supposed to be burnt with fire. She's supposed to be put to death. All right. But again, you know, yeah, you know, that's just something that's accepted in this society. You know, a woman having the same rights as a man, thinking that she's better than a man. Since I quoted it, I'm gonna get it. 1 Corinthians 11. 1 Corinthians 11 and 9, it says, "Neither was the man created for the woman, but the woman for the man." All right, so again, truth be told, when it comes to women, you weren't created for, or excuse me, we weren't created for you. You were created for us. All right, that's what the word woman in itself, it means a servant. All right, so a woman was created to be in servitude of her man, of her husband. You know, again, you know, just using the example back in the ancient world, you know, a woman, she was either in servitude of her father or her husband. You know, she was in servitude of her father until she got a husband. You know, the father would then, you know, pass pretty much, you know, all the responsibilities and duties onto to the husband, because again, you know, the father would choose. He would do the pick and choosing. Now here it is. You got women today thinking, you know, they have the right to pick and choose. And again, you know, this is why a lot of them, you know, they're blaming the men for a lot of their problems and things of that nature, right? Again, um, all you gotta do is keep the law, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Bashim Shai, you know, and live under the natural order that the Lord set up. You know, your life will be a lot easier. But again, you know, you think you can do bad all by yourself. Well, you know, you're gonna find out how you're about to find out, you know, where that's about to get you. All right. I'm gonna Sirach real quick. Sirach again in the 25th chapter, 25. It says, "Give the water no passage, neither a wicked woman liberty to gad abroad." So again, you know, it's completely out of order for a woman to be having all these liberties, because again, you know, she doesn't know anything. She doesn't know no better. You know, in a sense, you know, she needs like a spiritual leash. You know, she needs guidance. You know, she needs someone to lead her. You know, matter of fact, we read verse 26. It says, "If she got none, if she go not as thou wouldest have her, cut her off from thy flesh and give her a bill of divorce and let her go." All right. So again, you know, got you a wicked wife, man, and whatnot. You know, she's pretty much hindering you, and you know, pretty much in this truth or whatnot. You know, hindering you from doing the will of Yahweh Shem Shai. Just let her the hell go, man. You know, she's not worth it. You know, precepts tell you not to give your strength unto a woman, which again, you know, that's what's promoted in the society, the worship of the woman. All right, and that's why a lot of, you know, men end up getting jacked up, because this is exactly what they do. But again, go back to my point in verse 25. You know, again, you know, this pact that Esau has with um, with with these women. You know, Esau, they give these women a lot of freedom and a lot of liberty to you know, pretty much do whatever they want. You know, and this is why, you know, everything's all messed up and all polluted. This is why women believe that they have the right to sleep around with multiple men, having children with multiple men. You know, this is why, you know, they believe these things are okay. You know, but you know, a woman, she's not supposed to be walking around, you know, just doing whatever the hell she wants. You know, she's supposed to be under the ordinances, the order of Yahweh Shem Shai, which she's supposed to be under her man. All right. But of course, a lot of them, they don't want to hear that. And people get confused a lot when it comes to, committing adultery, because, again, when it comes to the man and the woman, committing adultery is completely different. All right. Because like I said, you know, the woman, she's supposed to be, she's supposed to only have one husband. All right. The man can have as many wives as he please, just as long as, you know, the woman is not dealing with another man. Which again, you know, for the most part, you know, we've all dealt with. We've all pretty much, guilty of this, because again, you know, none of these women, none of these women, and you know, just being real, none of these women are virgins. You know, they've all had multiple sex partners. You know, which is, you know, why we're constantly asking for mercy for Yahweh Shem Shai for our daily sins. But don't want to digress. But as far as a man, you know, committing adultery, um, you know, as long as that woman is not currently dealing with a man, you know, There's no such thing as cheating for a man. Again, a man can have as many women as he wants. You know, if the roles were reversed in this situation, and Will Smith, um, well, hell, you can say, Jada Pinkett Smith, if she got another woman for her husband, that would be a righteous thing, because you have accounts like that in the Bible where, sometimes the woman, she would pretty much fetch another woman for her husband. That's actually a righteous thing. You read about our forefathers, doing things like that. Trying to think of an example. I believe it was Abraham with his wife Sarah. Being that Sarah couldn't have children, um, she offered up her handmaid to Abraham, and that's where you hear about Ishmael. That's where Ishmael came into play. You know, so these counts are in it. They're in the Bible, where you'll hear about women, pretty much fetching other women to give to their husband. That's what a real woman would do. She would offer up. Even go out, so to speak. Recruiting other women for her husband. That's what a real woman, a real wife would do that. That's righteous. But as far as another man agreeing to another man being with his woman, that's off. That's completely off. All right. And if all three of those participating individuals don't repent, they're all going to be put to death. All right, because of course Yahweh Shem Shai is no respecter of persons, and clearly you're starting to see these celebrities starting to catch hell now. They're starting to feel the heat. All right, so just touch on this a little bit, dealing with men are able to have more than one woman. Just a few precepts that come to mind that I know by heart. Deuteronomy 21. I'll start at verse 1. Matter of fact, I start at verse 1. It says, if one be found slain in the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee to possess it, lying in the field, and it be not known who slain him, for the sake of time, I'm going to jump down. Let me just start at verse 10. It says, when thou goest forth to war against thine enemies, and the Lord thy God hath delivered them into thine hands, and thou hast taken them captives, and seest among the captives a beautiful woman, and hast a desire unto her, that thou wouldest have her to thy wife, then thou shalt bring her home to thine house, and she shall shave her head, and praise her nails, and par her nails. And she shall put the remnant of her captivity from off her, and shall remain in thine house, and bewail her father and her mother a full month. And after that thou should go in unto her, and be her husband, and she shall be thy wife. And it shall be, if thou have no delight in her, then thou shalt let her go whither she will. But thou shalt not sell her at all for money. Thou shalt not make merchandise of her, because thou hast humbled her. If a man have two wives, so you see, if a man has two wives, now this is a law concerning, men having multiple women. All right. Read it again. It says, if a man have two wives, one beloved and another hated, and they have borne him children, both the beloved and the hated, and if the firstborn son be hers that was hated, then it shall be, when he maketh his sons to inherit that which he hath, that he may not make the son of the beloved firstborn before the son of the hated, which is indeed the firstborn. So pretty much, the law going into, if a man has, well, in this particular case, if he has two women, right, two wives, and he hates one, but he loves the other, he can't and he has children by both of them. The firstborn sons of both these women, right? Um, Pretty much he can't the inheritance back then would always go to the firstborn. So let's say see if I read that right. Verse 15. If a man has two wives, one beloved and another hated, they have borne him children, both the beloved and the hated. If the firstborn son be hers, that was hated. So yeah, if this man has two wives, and he has um a son by the wife that he hates, which would be the firstborn, yet he has a son by the second wife that he loves. He can't pretty much he has to still give the inheritance to the firstborn of the wife that he hates. All right, but this is just showing that you know, dealing with men and multiple wives, right? Because whenever you hear these stories about polygamous relationships and things of that nature, of course for men, it's not an unrighteous thing, though it's not it wouldn't be wise in this society now, being that the majority of these women, they're whores. It wouldn't be wise to take on multiple women, but because there's Esau puts it in the minds of the society that for a man to have multiple wives, that's a unrighteous thing, which is it's not. That's actually a beautiful thing in the eyes of Yahweh Bashim Shai. All right. So this is just an example showing that a man dealing with his multiple wives. All right. Because again, you do have men out here, just going out and just doing whatever. But even with that, a man having multiple women, there's an order to it. All right. And again, it wouldn't be advised to for a man to take on multiple women in this society. But I just wanted to bring that out real quick. And that that brings me to this video. Before I forget, because here you had Wendy Williams. She called Future pathetic for having 8 children by 8 different women. All right, and I'm gonna just play this clip, and I'm gonna bring out one more example, and I'm gonna close it out.
Here's what Wendy Williams had to say.
What do you say for yourself for a man who's 36 years old and now has 8 children with 8 babies' moms? Huh? I say he's pathetic, and so are you. If you dare lay down with this man, you think nothing of yourself. And I'm talking about Future. And yeah, they say he's worth $40 million. So.
But anyways, yeah. And me personally, I think Wendy Williams is a dude, but I think they're here or there. But yeah, I saw this on my little trending thing, and I also saw this video with this guy August, opening up about his open relationship with another man's wife. But yeah, for a man to have multiple women and multiple children by multiple women, that's not an unrighteous thing. All right. The next example I want to pull up is King David. All right. What is that? 2 Samuel 12. And how much time? I'll start at verse 7. It says, 2 Samuel 12:7. It says, And Nathan said to David, Thou art the man. Thus saith the Lord God of Israel, I anointed thee king over Israel, and I delivered thee out of the hand of Saul. And I gave thee thy master's house, and thy master's wives unto thy bosom, and gave thee the house of Israel and of Judah. And if that had been too little, I would moreover have given unto thee such and such things. So what's going on here, all right? Because pretty much you have one of the prophets of the Lord telling David, look, in verse 8 it says, I gave thee thy master's house and thy master's wives unto thy bosom. So pretty much, do you see what the Heavenly Father did for King David? He gave, because the only way a woman she was freed from her marriage was if if uh, um if her husband died. All right, that would free her up and give her the liberty to get another husband. All right. Now I'm not going to get into the whole history here, but again, yeah, the Heavenly Father, he gave King David um, you know wives, right? Um, that word their wives is it's plural. All right. And what did it say at the latter end of the verse? It said, I would have, moreover, matter of fact, I'm going to read the verse again. It says, and I gave thee thy master's house and thy master's wives into thy bosom, and gave thee the house of Israel and the house of Judah. And if that had been too little, I would moreover have given unto thee such and such things. So, all in all, the Heavenly Father gave King David everything, including multiple women, multiple wives. And the Lord told David, if that wasn't enough, I would have given you more. So if David would have asked for more, he would have gotten it. Because if you know the story, King David, he set up another man to be killed. Well, first, he slept with another woman's wife. Excuse me, he slept with another man's wife while he was alive and got her pregnant. And to cover it up, he set that woman's husband up to be killed. Because again, a woman, she was only free from marriage, free from a husband if he ended up passing away. All right. So again, King David, again, he committed adultery, got the woman pregnant, set up the woman's husband to be killed, make it look like he died in war and whatnot, and then took the man's wife. Right. But pretty much the Lord told him, like, you didn't have to do that. If you wanted more wives, all you had to do was ask and I would have given you more. Showing that Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai ordains men having multiple wives. All right. So again, it's not an unrighteous thing for a woman or for a man to be, what they call a polygamous relationship, a man having multiple women, but it is an unrighteous thing for a woman to be sleeping around with multiple men. All right. So, that's pretty much it on that. Yahweh Dazah, you were edified. All right, because like I said, I saw that video, man, and I mean, I couldn't help to think to myself, it's just disgusting, man. Another man consent to another man, or another man agreeing to another man to have being in a relationship with his woman while they're still together. That's just completely insane, man. And here it is. They look at the Hebrew Israelites. They look at us like we're the insane ones, like we're the crazy ones, But yeah, man. That's it, man. I just wanted to touch on that real quick. Yahweh Rajazah, you were edified. And of course, once again, giving all acknowledgement to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Double honors to my teachers, beginning with the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Until next time, Shalom.